Hey guys, welcome to the neighborhood. This is the Pixel Street Podcast, episode 220. I am your host for this week, John Hansen, and we had to bring him back from the dead. It's Holden Depardo. He's guesting for us while Joel's out in California. How's it going, Holden?
It's going well. It feels good to be alive again.
Right?
It's been dead for so long.
I know. In all honesty, you have completely fallen out of existence for me.
Completely. Yeah, I'm like gone from like everything. It feels like I'm gone from Twitter. Yeah, I'm gone from everything.
Absolutely everything. Like every time I get on Switch and I'm like about to play a multiplayer game, I look at my friends list. There's no Holden there. Like not even doing phase 6 of your Animal Crossing Island. I'm like, wow, he's just really gone.
Yeah, my Animal Crossing Island is like fully abandoned. I wonder how many whatchamacallits there are, how many weeds and stuff there are now. Yeah, even my PS5 misses me.
How many cockroaches you have in your house.
Yeah, I'll have some cleanup to do when I get back into it.
Every time I go back in there, that's like one of the things I walk in. Because this townhouse that I'm in right now has a cockroach problem. And now when I go in to see like all these cockroaches, I'm like, God, I already deal with this in real life.
But now you have the Animal Crossing experience to bring into the real world, so you like know how to handle the cockroaches now because of Animal Crossing.
Just stomp on them all, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the little spirits will float up when you step in real life. The little spirits float up.
Kind of my favorite part of it, yeah. All right, well, this week on the actually, before we get to that, I should probably tell you that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Pixel Street Videos. I am working on a Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge. That's a Game Boy Advance game. A kind of retro review video for that. I'm hoping to have that up sometime next week. You can also follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called. We're on SoundCloud. Just, wherever you get your podcasts, listen to us there. But we would very much appreciate a subscribe on YouTube. On our Twitter, at Pixel Street, you can go ahead and hit a little link there and join our Discord channel where we just talk about the most random gaming stuff. Let me just pull this up here. Like, what were we talking about this week? I put up a video of people modding Hogwarts Legacy with all these different character swaps, which was great. We're going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy a bit later. But, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to just do in our Discord channel. You can show us pictures of your dog. We love those. Not your cat. I don't care about your cat. I want to see your dog. Sorry, cat people. Get out of here. But yeah, let's get started here. We're going to be talking about some Xbox Game Pass, some Ubisoft, whether or not we think they can turn their fortunes around lately. And we're just going to get into some random stuff here. It's my mind is so boggled and jumbled. I didn't sleep well last night, and I worked today, and I'm just tired. But we're gonna power through this. We're gonna have a good time. Let's start off.
We're in the same boat, so you're in good company.
Yeah. All right. Let's get started here with Xbox Game Pass. Is it good or bad for game developers? So recently, Microsoft came out and they kind of admitted, hey, yeah, Xbox game sales kind of get cannibalized from just people subscribing to Game Pass and getting the games for free. Well, without paying anything else. And obviously, that makes a lot of sense. If I'm playing these games on Game Pass, I'm not going to go out of my way to purchase them. That just doesn't make sense. You don't watch a movie on Netflix and then go to the store to buy it because you liked it so much. You're just going to keep playing it on that service. But of course, this got a lot of fanboys out talking about, oh, yeah, the game sales are suffering. Game Pass is terrible for games, all that kind of stuff. And me and Joel, at least, have been very vocal in the past about how much we love Game Pass and how we think it is the best deal in gaming that you can have. So we're just going to kind of go over this. Like, Game Pass, unsurprisingly, lowering your game sales, but it does get a lot of people to play your game. Is that a bad thing, Holden?
Yeah, it for Microsoft, I don't think it's a bad thing, and because they want loyalty to their brand, and that's what Game Pass can offer them much more easily than a single release of Perfect Dark or a single release of Halo ever could. So I think like for brand loyalty, I think it's a very, very smart move. Ultimately depends on the game too. Like some games I think will make more sense to be on Game Pass over others. Ultimately, Sony I think has the better business model in terms of making as much money as possible. Just because they don't put things on their service instantly like Microsoft does, but I don't think it's bad for Microsoft as a whole. But for game developers, like third-party developers, if it's a AAA game, I'd say it's probably a bad idea to put your game on Game Pass initially. But if it's like, Sea of Stars or something like that, I don't even know if that's coming to Game Pass, but like that makes sense to go to Game Pass. Someone might like I would play that, and I wouldn't have played it before. And if it leaves the service, I might be inclined to buy it at that point. It just depends on how much I liked the game. But
Yeah.
I'll know for sure at that point.
I
And how much money they get up front from Microsoft. Sorry, last thing.
No, you're good. It totally depends on the situation, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, indie games, it can be great. I actually have a quote here from, he's the founder of the publisher No More Robots, and their game Descenders has been on Game Pass for a while. He says, every time Game Pass is in the news, my Descenders search fills with mentions as people on both sides try to explain why Descenders is proof of their own claim about Game Pass. And every single time, oh boy, do I learn that gamers do not understand how video games work at all. All I can say is we're aiming to get every single title we publish from now on onto Game Pass. In doing so, we'll secure success for each title and relieve immense pressure for the devs. But please, gamers, continue to explain why it's bad for us. His name is Mike Rose, by the way. Yeah, total. Just this is an indie guy saying, "No, this is an amazing deal for us." The thing that I think causes all of this problem is I think everyone that gets in the Game Pass, or all of the developers and publishers, they're obviously under an NDA that they can't talk about, like, what they're getting out of it. Because we've seen like some talk about how Microsoft, depending on the game, they might completely just cover the development cost of it. So it's like at the very worst, you're coming out of this even. But if you play this, if you put your game in our service, hopefully enough people will play it. At worst, you'll break even, but you can make some money off of this, which is awesome for indie developers. Like you said, AAA guys, it doesn't really work as well there because Microsoft isn't going to go out of their way to put millions of dollars in a competitor's pocket just to have their game on their platform. But when so who knows how those deals handle out? Back 4 Blood, for example. It's been on there since launch. I love the game. I think it's absolutely great. But that's a WB published game. We don't know what is going on there for Xbox to get that on Game Pass. But I will say, games like that, there's so many more people that played Back 4 Blood on Xbox than they would have. And on PC, I should say. There's so many more people that played that than wouldn't before. Because, hey, it's a free game. I'll download it now and play it. So I just think, I don't really see a negative to this. Unless you're... The only game I could think of, let's see, that would have a bad time on Xbox is something that is like already selling super well. Like it's a top-selling game at that moment. Hogwarts Legacy right now. Let's say that. It's selling bonkers. If that was released in Game Pass, it would cannibalize the sales there. And that being a single-player game, that doesn't make sense for it. But these multiplayer games that have all these DLCs and all this other stuff in them, it makes complete sense for them to be worked in there, regardless if they're indie or if they're a AAA title. So I think it's perfect for that kind of stuff. Of course, you also mentioned how Sony makes more money on their exclusives because they don't put them in day one. I think this is kind of like the conversation with the original Xbox when it was made, where they cut down the price on that console so much just so people would get their hands on it. Everyone knows PlayStation just outclasses Xbox in exclusives right now.
Absolutely.
But
they admit it. Microsoft admits it.
Yeah. But the fact that you can tell all these people, hey, try Sea of Thieves for free, play this, like there's no cutoff, this isn't a demo, this is you playing the game however long you want, as long as you have the subscription. You get that with Minecraft, Halo Infinite, Forza, like all these games that are brilliant and they are great right away. Xbox Microsoft doesn't care if they lose a little money there. They're a fucking, quadrillion-dollar company. They have so much money. They don't care if that game loses them money, like, on the surface at launch. But they're going to get people coming back more and more all the time for that, which is
Yeah, it's
really
the whole
what they
loyalty
want.
thing. Like they'll lose money to get your loyalty now, so they can make the profit like later. That's totally the goal here.
Absolutely. And plus, you work in that they're expanding that even more. They put out PC Game Pass, they've got xCloud on phones. You know, sooner or later, there's going to be an official Game Pass thing on Steam Deck. Like, that just makes too much sense for it not to happen. There's just, I don't know, there's a lot of avenues where Microsoft is okay with losing the money because they're going to gain. One, they're gaining goodwill from all the people like me and Joel that say, yeah, this is an amazing deal. Like, absolutely. Everyone I talk to, like, people that don't know about video games, they'll be on Xbox Live with me, and they're like, yeah, what is that Game Pass? I'm like, stop what you're doing right now. Switch your gold subscription to an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, because you get everything that you'll ever need. So yeah.
In the height of the pandemic, I had some people reach out to me and be like, "Hey, I have this time. I'm at home now. I can't leave. I was thinking about getting a console. What do you recommend?" And even though I'm much more of a Nintendo and Sony person myself, I'm like, "You should get an Xbox because I mean this isn't as true anymore, but you should get an Xbox because you can get Game Pass, try a bunch of shit, see what you like and don't like, rather than putting $60 or on sale for a game, find out you don't like it because you're kind of new to modern gaming." And it's such a great entry into the video game space. But again, Sony has that now too, so it's not quite the selling feature it was before.
Yeah, they are Sony's thing. I've looked at it a little bit. They're still very much in the early days of their thing. When did that start? Last summer, I want to say.
Yeah, it was last year at some point. Yeah,
they're still very much early in the life of that thing. They've got to come out with more classics for me to really buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
But they do a good job with what they have. Might be a little expensive for my taste, but
I agree.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I went for the premium because I'm like, oh, I just have to pay the difference from what I already paid in the premium. So let me just see what that's like. And I'm thinking, like, man, I'm definitely at least going to go down to is it Premier? What is it? It's premium, and then it's
premium, essential, and
extra.
I can't remember. It might be extra.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think I'm either going to go for that one, or I might just go right down to just the basic one at this point.
Yeah.
Because I have so many games I haven't played. I bought. Why stick with it? But
anyway. Yeah, I get that. All right. So yeah, Game Pass. Fan of it. It's good for everyone. All right. Next up, Ubisoft says they have a lot of things to show at E3 this year, despite all of the recent cancellations. Me and Joel talked about this, and there's so many things that they've canceled lately, and a lot of things that we just don't even know what they were. Like, they just hadn't been announced. But apparently they were making those cancellations mostly to focus on the games they have in development right now. This is from Yves Guillemot, the CEO. We canceled a few games because we needed to make space for other games that are in development in the company. And that's really helping all of the other games that are progressing well. Now we feel we have the right number of games, knowing that we will launch a lot of games in financial year 24 that will also give space for the other games that are on the way in the company. So pretty much he just kind of went on to say, in all honesty, we were working on too many games at one time. It was really making us struggle. The games just weren't coming out the way we wanted them to, so we canceled them, which makes sense. The thing is that there's been so much bad news coming out of Ubisoft since 2018, 2019. It's just been constant years of bad headline after bad headline. And the games kind of have suffered, in all honesty. I can't think of... The last Ubisoft game that I fell in love with was probably Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Besides that, I'm not thinking of any game where I was like, oh, that was definitely worth my time to play.
Even Valhalla was like, it was received well, but not to the level that Odyssey was. Yeah,
it was a good game, and that's about it. And for me, that was disappointing with Valhalla, how much I loved Odyssey. But yeah, I just want to Holden. first off, what do you think they show off at E3 this year? If they say they're going to be there, we know Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony are out of E3 this year. So there's going to be a more focus on developers like Ubisoft that are now they're already big dogs there, but they are the biggest dog there. What do you hope to see from them this year?
I'm actually legitimately excited for the Avatar game. I'm very curious what that's going to be like. But I feel like with Ubisoft, it's like always the same. Like every E3, it's always like, are they going to do Splinter Cell this year? Are we finally going to see more Beyond Good and Evil 2? Like, so I kind of feel like my questions going into every Ubisoft event have been the exact same for several years. I don't know. I'm just going to let it play out. But I do have a different, like, they're clearly in a transition period. Mm-hmm. And I think it's more of a question of, like, do they start talking? They kind of have started talking about it, but, like, are they going to, open up the curtain? We're still waiting on Microsoft to do that with their stuff. Can Ubisoft do it before Microsoft does their big reveal of all of the games or all the studios they've bought? So, I don't know. These things take time.
Yeah.
To quote Gabe Newell, these things take time.
Yep. Yeah. We know we have Skull and Bones. Well, we think Skull and Bones is coming out before E3. I think it's in April that it's supposed to come out now. Who knows?
I can't believe it got delayed again. That was amazing.
I'm fully expecting it to get delayed one more time, because why not at this point?
Yeah, just like a week, just for giggles. Like, just delayed a week for giggles. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, Beyond Good and Evil 2. That was announced in like 2017. Isn't it insane how long it's been since we've seen anything on that? That's got to be shown off at this point. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, everyone's pre-orders got canceled, and we never heard anything about that again. So who knows if that's still coming out?
And it was just an up-res. It wasn't even a whole remake, right?
I want to say it was a remake.
Okay, I could be wrong. I don't pay much attention to Prince of Persia.
But people didn't like the art style, so they delayed it.
Oh.
And then I think there were some reports that they weren't happy with the developer that was working on it, so they were switching developer. And then we heard nothing. So who knows what's going on with that?
Who knows?
Really, all we know for sure, we're going to get Assassin's Creed news because it's Ubisoft.
Mirage, right?
Probably. Mirage actually comes out in March.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll hear other Assassin's Creed news. Besides that, though, what are we going to see? Like, Just Dance? Okay, great. Another Just Dance game.
Yeah.
We already got Mario and Rabbids last year, which severely undersold, I saw. Like, they were not happy with the sales numbers on that.
I didn't buy it myself, and I feel bad because I liked the first one a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gonna pause right here because my food just got here.
Oh, yeah.
Hold that thought.
Yes.
Right. Let's get that going again. What were you gonna say?
We were talking about Ubisoft. I didn't buy Sparks.
Didn't buy Mario. Yeah.
This was it. When was Far Cry 6? I should have looked this up while you were getting your food, because that was last year, the year before. I can't remember.
Far Cry 6 when it came out. Oh man, that had to have been last year.
Should we expect DLC or something for that, or they've already announced it? I don't know.
No, DLC.
I don't really know a lot about Far Cry, but I just know that's one of their big franchises.
DLC already came out for that. They had all of the.
That's right.
They had all of the.
because it was a riff on the Blood Dragon thing, Bob, or was that 5? I can't remember. I don't know anything about.
Far Cry 6 came out in 2021.
Basically, ignore anything I say about Far Cry because it's probably incorrect.
Yeah,
it has guns. I know that. That I know. It has guns.
There's just so many things up in the air with Ubisoft right now. Like, I don't think you can properly predict anything with that company besides Assassin's Creed, and it's ridiculous. Well, do we have any hope that they're gonna turn around their fortunes? And at this point, I don't.
No, I think I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not I wouldn't bet the house on it or anything, but they still got money. They can still I think take some risks and sacrifices and work up.
I think it's an Activision situation where the top heads there just need to be replaced. Like
Yeah.
they have to do a restructuring from the top down. And
What are you saying about Bobby Kotick?
what? Nothing, Mr. Kotick. Jesus. All right, that's enough Ubisoft talk. Let's get into some quick news. Starting things off, the Kraken special weapon is coming back in Splatoon 3. So apparently this is from the original Splatoon game. I never played that, but I saw a lot of people weren't ecstatic for this. I don't know. Apparently it was
I never had the first Splatoon either, so I don't know.
Apparently it was a super overpowered thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I did have it. I just didn't play it. I played the second one a lot more.
Yeah, same. Multiversus player count has dropped below 1,000 players. Apparently, the game has just gone completely dry on content, and people are like, "Hey, you're a cheap Smash Brothers ripoff. We're not going to keep playing you." Which I get. It was
that's fair.
It was cool at first, but I don't know.
I would have been shocked if it had the traction to keep going.
Yeah.
It makes sense that it kind of blew up in popularity and was a fad. That makes complete sense to me.
Yeah. Final Fantasy artist Yoshitaka Amano has redrawn Cuphead in his RPG style for the game's DLC soundtrack. This is really cool. So, this is the original artist for Final Fantasy, and he just completely redrew Cuphead characters, and Studio MDHR is using that art as the DLC soundtrack cover, and it's wild to look at because it's just not.
Yeah, this
Cuphead.
is really wild. Yeah,
it's really cool, but
the characters don't look anything like Cuphead characters.
No, they don't. It's so funny to me that it's going to be an official thing.
Yeah.
This is probably one of my favorite things so far this year. Photos have resurfaced from the N64 Super Smash Bros. Slamfest fighting event in 1999. So, back when Nintendo was marketing Super Smash Bros. For the N64, they just kept using the costumes that they used in that really good really good commercial of the characters just going crazy on each other and fighting each other. Well, now we finally have pictures of a actual fighting event with people in those costumes fighting each other in front of a crowd, and it is amazing. I love this.
It's just really, really awesome. They even have the announcer dude in the suit standing and announcing everyone coming in. This is amazing.
It's absolutely amazing. The 90s were a wild time, and I kind of miss them. I miss the Nintendo 64 wildness like this.
There's one of Yoshi doing push-ups.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's just so much here. It's Mario, Yoshi, Pikachu, and Donkey Kong, because those were the costumes used in the, at least the American commercial. I don't know what they did for marketing over in Japan, but that commercial still sticks in my head as one of my favorite video game commercials of all time. It's just them all skipping across the field, and they're like, "Oh, so nice," and then they just all turn on each other and beat the snot out of each other. I love it. Next up, Thor was originally set to kill Kratos at the beginning of God of War Ragnarok, and Atreus would have pulled him out of hell 20 years later. This was removed because they thought that it went against the central themes of God of War Ragnarok. But yeah, how do you think you would have taken the... Or actually, I guess I haven't talked to you in forever. Have you played Ragnarok?
10 hours in.
Okay. Well...
So not a whole... I like it a lot, though. I just haven't had time to play it.
Okay, so I won't go ahead and spoil anything, but yeah, how do you... That first fight with Thor at the beginning, how do you think you would have taken to Kratos dying right away there?
Would have been fine with it, because... I don't want to spoil another game, but there's another game where a fatherly figure dies very, very early in the story. And it surely would piss people off if that happened to Kratos, but I think it made that game about a fatherly figure dying very interesting. Because they played with it well in the story.
Yeah.
And I have faith that they could do that here. But I do think that Kratos is a more significant character in the lineage of gaming than this other fatherly figure that I'm being very vague about.
Yeah.
That might be a hot take. I don't know. Do you agree with that? Is like I think Kratos is more important in the lineage of all of gaming, at least. That might have elicited a stronger response.
I think if you're talking about PlayStation icons, Kratos definitely is. If you're talking about all of gaming, that other character in that series has become so massive that I think
That's fair.
they would be bigger. I don't know.
Outside of gaming,
I could.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could argue either way. But yeah, that's The Last of Us talking about that.
I don't want to say
anything. All right. The original Metroid Prime developers have been criticizing Nintendo over their names being removed from the game's credits in the recent remaster. And that just kind of sucks. I feel like this is a situation where no matter what Nintendo does, they would kind of be like criticized here. Obviously, taking those people's names out of it, I think, is the worst option, though. But they had to include all of the new team members that worked on this remaster. And if you keep all of those names in there, you're going to have a credit sequence that goes on forever. If you want to see what that's like, play the Sonic Colors remaster. Because holy shit, when you beat that game, the credits honestly scroll on for like a half hour. Like, they just don't end. Yeah. So
they gotta go fast. Why didn't they go fast?
Right. But yeah, I feel like that's a hard situation because on the one hand, no one wants to sit through credits for that long, but on the other hand, you definitely want to give credit to the original people that made this game as good as it was, especially with it being a remaster. If it was like a full remake from the ground up, I would understand that without having their names on it.
Have you played it yet?
No, I haven't. I was a little
It's totally remade from the ground up.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's actually why I'm caught in the story, because, like, let's say that they didn't include that person because they made the, elevators, but now they remade the elevators. So, like, yes, he designed that elevator and it looks very similar, but is that, like, do you give credit to him when he didn't make that specific elevator? Like, I don't know the nuances in this, and I'm sure there's also a lot of like legal things in terms of like how you have to give credit for a game, because there's all sorts of protections for artists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can totally see how that would be shitty to see as the artist or the creator. I can also see why it could be removed, but I don't know. I don't know the legality of all that.
Yeah, me either. It kind of sucks. Let's just
totally, yeah. It doesn't, regardless if there's like a legal issue they had to do it that way, it still sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Last bit of quick news here. The Super Mario Brothers movie made a plumbing commercial that directly references the Super Mario Brothers Super Show cartoon. I was a little disappointed this never hit the Super Bowl commercials, but it came out on Sunday before that. Have you watched this yet?
No, I haven't. I'm staying away from anything Mario movie because I just want to watch the movie. I mean, I'm very excited.
I'm so excited too. Remember when we were like making fun of that when it was like first announced, and I can't stop thinking about it. I'm so excited. But they went out of their way and they made like it kind of looks like a 90s commercial for the Mario Brothers plumbing service. And the theme song that plays is the theme song from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. We're the Mario Brothers, and it's like a really bad rap. It's a really bad 80s, 90s rap.
But it's Chris Pratt and Charlie Day doing it.
No, it's the actual theme pulled in from that show.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, that's too funny. Okay.
And then there's also a woman that speaks in there. We don't know for sure, but it sounds like it's the voice of Peach from that show doing that as well. It's really good.
It's too funny.
They also made this website that you can go on, and there's like a ton of Easter eggs on there. Like, click here for all these sound effects and everything. Some good stuff. God, I can't. That's still like 3 months away, 2 months away, I think. Man, I'm so excited for that movie. All right, Holden, what have you been up to lately? Do you have any collectibles you have to show off?
No, I don't have any collectibles right now.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I don't either.
I have an AirPods case with me, but I don't think that's
Ooh,
what you're referring to.
no,
I don't.
no, it
Yeah.
looks like a giant Tic Tac.
That's what makes it collectible. It's a giant Tic Tac, and it's
Yeah,
going to be very valuable one day.
you got me there.
You
All
should see
right.
the container of Tic Tacs that came in. That's also a collectible.
Uh, all right. What have you been playing lately?
So the big thing is Metroid Prime Remastered.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing that. I was telling you before we started recording, but like I freaked the fuck out when that was announced. I really haven't paid much attention to the Tears of the Kingdom stuff because Metroid Prime is one of my favorite games ever. One of my most important like childhood games. I got when I was 8 on GameCube for Christmas. Amazing. So I was just so ecstatic. I've been playing that all week. It is so good. I can't begin to tell you how fucking incredible it is. Made from the ground. Maybe they reused some stuff. I don't know, but it all looks like it was made from the ground up. The term remastered's a little weird to me here.
All
Because I think
right.
of remastered, I think just like an upres. It's absolutely more than an upres. Absolutely. It's even got really good HD rumble. They've totally updated the controls so they're more modern and they work fantastically. It's awesome. It's really, really awesome. I am holding on to hope that the speculation of a 2 and 3 remaster that will be just shadow dropped in the same way throughout the year. I'm holding hope because I've actually not played Prime 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my biggest gaming shames. So I'm
Gotcha.
hoping that happens because I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, it's a game I'm gonna grab. I was a bit short on cash when it shadow dropped, but I never played Metroid Prime at all, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
definitely excited to give it a try. Which
Yeah.
would you say is better, the GameCube one or the Switch?
So it's funny. I played the GameCube version last year, and I thought, man, this holds up surprisingly well.
Mm-hmm.
But the Switch version is definitely the definitive version. I think I can't think of anything that I'm like preferred about the GameCube version. The controls are different, but you can do the GameCube controls if you want to. If you really want a 4:3 ratio instead of a 16:9 ratio, I guess you can go to the GameCube version. But no, it's like definitely overall like the Switch version is superior in
All
every
right.
way.
Just for comparison's sake, on Metacritic, Metroid Prime on the GameCube is sitting at a 97. On the Switch remaster is at 95. 95 for a remaster is an amazing score. Like that is insane how well that has scored. So that's really cool to
Yeah,
see.
it is. It's very cool. I think, yeah, because like that when that game came out, so this is I think of Peer Schneider saying this all the time. He talked about like when Prime came out, that game was so ahead of everything else. He specifically said like at the time, Call of Duty was having a hard time with like clipping in flat environments, but in Metroid Prime, you're like in space stations that have crashed into the like planet and are half submerged in water and are like everything's askew and at an angle and there's no clipping and it works perfectly. Like like and even back then in 2002, like it was such a technical powerhouse way back then that now it doesn't surprise me that it has a 95 still because it doesn't feel like it's aged.
All right. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I'm gonna give a try. I I so Metroid Dread was the first
I was just
Metroid
gonna ask if
game
you played it.
I ever
Okay.
tried, and I couldn't get into it. I got lost and I didn't know where I was supposed to go, and I was like, I've been walking around for an hour and I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. So I kind of fell off that. But Prime being a first-person shooter, is it more linear or is it kind of open like the other Metroid games?
You'll get lost. You'll definitely
Okay.
get lost, but eventually it'll be like, "Hey, incoming scan data. Go over here and find out what's going on." It's like they'll guide you around. I'd say in that way it's more linear, but you can also just ignore those completely and kind of find a different way around if you wanted to. But
Gotcha.
you'll definitely like you're gonna feel isolated, just like in Dread. You're gonna feel like alone in like this scary place, and you're gonna get lost and explore. It's very much the same idea. It's just in a first person perspective.
Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely want to play it because I've only heard amazing things about it. It's just uh, so much to play right now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So first game I've been playing some Overwatch 2. I mean, I talk about this game pretty much every week. But it's the season 3 contents dropped last week, and this week they did some Valentine's Day stuff. They made a dating sim that can be played in browsers, and it's amazing. It is so funny. It takes like there's 2 different routes you can go down. You can try and romance either Mercy or Genji, and the entire time Hanzo is there and he plays Cupid. And it takes a half hour to 100%. It's like a really small game, but it's so self-referential. Like they like call out the fact that Mercy is OP, or that she's not OP because she has good movement. Hanzo is like always mad at his brother there. Genji says you can go up to Genji and ask him if he needs healing, and he starts crying because he knows about the reputation he has among the community. There's so much great stuff on there. If you have a browser to play it and you're an Overwatch fan, you gotta give it a try.
It's so random.
It's amazing. It is so funny. But yeah, it really reminds me of that Dead by Daylight dating sim that came out last year, I want to say. It's pretty much the same thing. I didn't even know about that one. Oh my god, it's insane where you romance some of the killers. Absolute. That's the kind of bonker shit that I love. Like, oh my god, it's amazing.
It's definitely an only in video games with that kind of thing work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, other than that, Overwatch is pretty much the same. I don't really have more to say on it than that. I've also been playing. I went back and played some Apex Legends because they started a new season this week, and it's been a long time since I played it. And I realized that I suck at Apex Legends now, but they put in this team deathmatch mode for like a limited time. It's like so wild to me to think that this we've like completely gone full circle here, where a battle royale mode was always like added on into a team deathmatch game. Now we have a team deathmatch mode being added into a battle royale game. Absolute bonkers to me, but it's kind of not great. In all honesty,
it sounds like some late stage battle royale.
It's stuff. So you've got your team of 3, and then it puts you with another team of 3. It's still like a 6-on-6 thing, but it still has you in your squad, and that's really weird. And then it's a best of 3 rounds to get the 30 kills. So you could have a game go for what feels like forever because you have to get like 90 kills. And it's just like, and also people have been like leaving the game early, and there's no leaving penalty, but also the game doesn't
really.
It doesn't fill in new people for the people that left. So people are just like sitting around, and the game has no time limit. So it just doesn't end unless you leave. If like everyone leaves, is
this early access, or is this how they released it? Like,
it's how they released it. This is their like special event for the start of their new Battle Pass season, and it's
There's nothing special about that. That sounds awful. That's lazy. I say that's lazy.
It's not good. Not a fan of it. I'm just like, I'd rather play the regular Battle Royale. But yeah, other than that, I've been playing a lot of little things lately. Hogwarts Legacy, I'll let you start and we'll talk about that. But I got into Rocket League. I bought a Battle Pass in it for the first time because I've been playing it a lot lately with some friends, and that game is just still so much fun to me. Me and Joel talked about this, I think, last week, but that game is just like... It's one of those like comfort food games, I think, for me, where I can boot it up at any time on any device. Like, I'll put it on my Switch, and I'm like, I love this. It's so much fun. I really don't ever have a bad time playing that game.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun game. Every time I play it, I feel like I'm like an 8-year-old kid playing soccer, and everyone in the field just goes to one side, and then everyone in the field goes to the other side, and I'm just chasing this ball back and forth. But I don't contribute at all because I'm so bad, but I'm still having fun because I'm chasing the ball. That's how I feel every time I play Rocket League.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about some Hogwarts Legacy. You put here that you're only about an hour in.
Yeah, so I put 1 hour in. So I got the digital deluxe version so I could play it early because I was going to be away that weekend. And I'm like, man, I'm going to play it this week. This is going to be great. The Metroid Prime Remastered is announced the next day. And I'm like,
Oh
screw
yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy. I'm going to Metroid Prime. But I am really enjoyed the first hour. It starts off immediately and is interesting from a story perspective and a gameplay perspective. It's enjoyable instantly, which
Hmm.
is something to be said. I just got to Hogwarts. I just got into Gryffindor, and I just was in the common room, and that's kind of where
Okay.
I stopped. So I'm very, very early in, but it is clearly very polished. It feels fantastic to play. The delays were absolutely an investment in just making this game better.
Yeah. I'm guessing you're playing on PS5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm playing on Series X, and it's pretty much the same stuff there. I'm a lot further in. I'm like 26 hours in. Um, I exploring Hogwarts is amazing. Like, you cannot say enough good stuff about how well they made the environment in this game. The secrets and everything are great. There are some downfalls though. Like, I've seen a lot of people be like, "Oh yeah, this is game of the year," and I'm like, "That's some heavy nostalgia pulling for you," because there are definitely downfalls here. The voice acting is kind of bad. The facial animations for the characters not great either. Uh, I think also the game is too bloated with stuff. Like, too there's too much like side content here that I don't care about.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, I'll be walking around, go through this like little archway thing, and a maze pops up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then I go around the corner, and I have to grab this like goo stuff to power up my ancient magic meter, and I'm like, that was kind of boring. I'll just cheat and get on my broom and find it. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in there, but there's also a lot of stuff where I'm like, this isn't that special. In all honesty, I cannot get over just how amazing though it is to have a game of this quality actually made. I mean, I've been waiting my whole life for a Harry Potter game like this where I can make my own character and go to Hogwarts. This is that dream finally realized. Of course, there's all the controversy and everything. I get it. But man, I'd be lying if I said that pretty much every moment that I played this game I didn't have a smile on my face. Like, it's just so enjoyable.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, Harry Potter is a really important series to me. I grew up reading those books. I grew up with Harry Potter. It's very cool the idea. Just and this is what I'm most going to do is literally just to walk around Hogwarts, and I keep hearing that's one of the best things about the game.
Absolutely.
So I'm ecstatic. I can't wait to kind of get into that
Yeah.
into that some more. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so go it's so cool though also, like, when you get outside of Hogwarts and you can just explore anywhere. When you
the
get
Forbidden
well,
Forest.
yeah, you can. When I first found the Forbidden Forest, my I was following a quest, and it actually, the tracking on it messed up, and it had me
Mhm.
run through the forest to get to where I needed to go instead of around it. And I was severely under leveled at that point. So, like, I got hit by a spider, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm almost dead." So I just ran through it. That was the most scared I've been in a while. But yeah, it's so much fun just exploring the area. I have nothing better to say or nothing more to add besides just being in that world is amazing. Um, I've got all but one spell unlocked in the game. That one being Avada Kedavra. Um, very excited to get that. Uh, but man, just all the spells they
How
work.
sadistic of you! You're excited to get a vodka Kedavra.
All right. That is another problem I have with this game, though. So they were really talking about, oh yeah, you can be a dark wizard in this game. You can use Avada Kedavra. There is no morality system in this game at all. All
Oh,
of
okay.
the choices you make just don't matter. Like, they have all these like dialogue options where it's like, hey, I did this for you. Here's this for free. You can have it. Or, you know what? I found your diary for you, so these other kids want to get it. I'm going to keep it myself. And it just doesn't matter at all. It just, like, all these dialogue options is just pointless. That kind of sucks. But, man, it's really good. It's not going to be anywhere close to my Game of the Year list because, I mean, Zelda. But also, Hi-Fi Rush came out, and I'm already like, that game is better than this, I think, from a gameplay standpoint. But man, it's just so good to have a Harry Potter game like this that is good, and it's not like directly tied to any of the movies or books. You can just do
I
your own
played
thing.
the Prisoner of Azkaban game, I think, and I remember the whole time thinking, like, because I was a kid, so I had really enjoyed it. But like looking back, I'm like, I don't like. I want more from Harry Potter.
Right. Yeah.
I just want more.
I played Sorcerer's Stone on PC. I really like that game. I couldn't tell you if it's good or not, though. I remember liking it. And then Chamber of Secrets I played on GameCube and Game Boy Advance? No, Game Boy Color. And I really liked those games. So I remember liking them, but I can't think of... I couldn't tell you right now for sure if they're actually good or not.
There's a YouTube channel, and they literally review every single Harry Potter game, but like every version of them.
Oh.
So when they do the Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone one, it's the Game Boy version, it's the the console version, it's the PC, like, it's all the different versions. And they seem better than most movie tie-ins, but like not to what Hogwarts Legacy is. It's not like that grand, experience that we would expect nowadays. And also too, it's not Harry Potter, and I think that's important.
Yeah, no, it's very important that you make your own character, and But going back to the morality thing, I wish there was more ways to make that character yours, because it does feel like you're just kind of guided through the story, like.
Especially because morality is such a big part of the series itself.
Yeah, and all that's different is just what dialogue happens. Like, there's no real consequences to your choices. At least I don't think so. I haven't noticed anything. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Nothing off the top of my head. I haven't talked games in a while, actually, so this was kind of nice. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. We missed you, buddy. But that is where we are going to end episode 220 of the Pixel Street podcast. Like I said at the beginning, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street, subscribe to us on YouTube, Pixel Street Videos. My name is John Hansen. You can find me on Twitter at Revix Shadows, and my writing is on GamePer.com. Holden, where can the people find you?
You can go to @Holden Depardo, but it's a dead corpse just sitting there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Holden, and we will talk to you all next week. Bye.
Bye.